M0FXB, welcome back to the channel. Quite a few people have asked me what's the difference between the Bajeton 7800 here and the Radtel 880, because they do perform similar functions in the way that I call them shack in the box devices, because they have these middle receivers that receive all the HF bands, upper sideband, lower sideband and CW, but then they switch back and they can do airband, VHF, UHF. They do work on CB and they can transmit on 70 megahertz and 50 megahertz, although that's not what I recommend you do with these devices. So what's the key difference? Well, at the moment I would say, number one, the Radtel has triple display, the Bajeton is shorter and is a dual display. But then Bluetooth, these are coming out with Bluetooth programming, and you can use an app. Let's see if I can show you the app on your iPhone or your Android device. Sort of looks like that basically. I know it's a bit not very clear, but that's what they look like. And you must have used those apps before, and they work fine once you got used to how they tick. This one here, to get it into HF mode, because at the moment it's VHF, UHF, they both are very clear on airband, excellent performance, and good harmonics on VHF and UHF. Yeah, as soon as you go into airband, you press and hold the 0. That goes into what they call radio mode. On this one here, I tend to set a little button there, starting radio. So look, they've both gone into HF mode, and the way you control the step bandwidth, low noise amplifier, BFO, is by pressing the star. If you want to go into broadcast radio, press menu and then just cycle up and down on this one until you get to FM, okay? And it will actually allow you to go into memory mode, and I've started adding memories here. There's VFO, dedicated VFO, memory and AB button. You can see it says 40 meters. Now that is just me naming a memory channel. That is not the radio knowing it's on 40 meters and saying it. It doesn't work that way. But yeah, we're on the memories, a couple of memories that I added in there. So it's so hard to choose between these two radios. Let's hit the... That's how you change the band on this one. And then the star, you've got the white arrow and you're moving between the frequency steps, the bandwidth, the gain and the BFO. So it's similar. Now I would say there's some more work to do on the firmware with this, couple of bugs there. Radtel brought out their version, which is virtually identical to this. And I've been using the CPS today via the USB twin pin, which they both can use. And let me think, no. On the Radtel, you're not using the twin pin, you're using the USB-C, and it's got a C. You need a CH340 sort of chip in the cable, but the cables are not expensive, but you can program it via USB-C. They're both USB-C chargeable in the bottom there. Exit to come out, and then the usual A and B. Menu driven, I suppose, but not that hard. And if you want airband, you just type the frequency, it automatically selects airband on both these devices. It is nice having the triple display. You've got to weigh up the price, because I know the price of these has come down. They're both backlit, nice bright screens. I would say the Bajeton can go brighter, will be easier to see in daylight. Emergency button here, LEDs on both, and I'm trying to think, backlit. You've got a dedicated band switching button here, and yes, it does do 220 and transmit on 220. I'm pretty sure they both do. So it's quite a hard choice. GPS, looks like there's GPS on this one, and we've done APRS on this. I'm not seeing GPS on this device yet, but it's only just been released, so I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. I think once you get into GPS and APRS, it starts to really complicate things. I pretty much like to use this as just a triple display dual band radio, and yeah, we can put in CB and it works. I've tested it. It actually worked fine. Now I'm not going to test the power on CB because I don't want to. 1, 2, 5, but it does do CB. The harmonics I have tested on the handbands, and I don't think you should buy these if you want a CB. If you buy them if you want to listen to CB, fine. But if you want a CB, go and buy a CB. That's what I think. But anyway, they are. I understand that because this one was £26, but I think they're a bit more now. We're looking more like £35, but you get a lot for your money. Double PTT. I feel like these are going to become pretty standard, budget devices compared to the sort of older fashion. And don't forget, some people really still like the older Bajetons because, you know, at the end of the day, they're small, they go in your pocket, and they know how to use them because they've been using them for years. So some people, and then you can use Chirp. Chirp will catch up. Normally they'll catch up and start to program all these devices. But you'll find that if it's a DMR radio, very rare that you'll find Chirp. Now, they have brought out a Radtel RT-880 DMR version of this with double display, which looks virtually the same. Just want to see if I can dig it out. Got it here, and I'm going to be doing videos on this soon. I've just been waiting for newer firmware because I found it to be a bit glitchy. But this is the DMR model, which is an unusual make, but it's almost like a test sample. But this one actually does do DMR, although I'm having problems with it. I'm actually waiting for Radtel to bring out their RT-880 firmware, so I can chuck that in here, because you'll find that Radtel are always good, in my opinion, always the best. It's always the best CPS and firmware with these radios, but that is my personal opinion. This is my personal experience. Anyway, someone asked, so I've done the video. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like, subscribe, 7.3, all the best.